So for this particular border, this is the one we're making, and I used the Sandcastles border maker cartridge and that striped umbrella punch to make this border. But you can do the same border idea, like I said before, with any one of your border cartridges. Instead of just using it as a one strip down the page, think about it as making it into a border in itself, where you're doing it on a diagonal. And I loved this idea. When I saw it with the Sandcastles, I was like, oh, I have to do this. But then I started thinking, well, I could do that with all of my border cartridges, which just will change them up and change the look. So for this particular border that I'm making, I used one piece of paper that was 2.5 inches. That's my background. I used a piece of paper, and this was my striped one, that will go on top of the background paper, which was 2 inches wide. And then I have 1.5 border strips, and you definitely need that. Even when I did this particular border for a page, I needed 1.5 strips of the border just to do all the diagonals. And I'm going to show you an easy way to get those diagonals in place. So to make the actual base of the border, I took this top piece, this striped piece of paper, and I cut off 1/2 inch from the end, just so that I had a border all the way around on my, when I laid it down on top of the blue piece. So when I lay it down, I'm not going to tape it yet, but when I lay it down, you can see there's blue border all the way around that edge, just to kind of make it more of a border for a page. You can have it right to the end, but I just liked the idea that there was going to be blue on the top and the bottom. And then, so I took this piece first, and I took my border strips, and what I'm going to do is do them on a diagonal across this. To put it on a diagonal, what I did was I took out my trimmer, and I put my trimmer, my piece of paper, I put a little tape on the back of it so that it'll stick right to the trimmer. And I put it on that 4-inch line, and I taped it right down. And you see this diagonal strip here, this diagonal line, that's kind of what I followed, so that they were all about the same, on the same diagonal and parallel to each other, rather than, you know, trying to eyeball it. It just made it really much easier. Then what I did was I took my strip of border, and like I said, you could use any border. It doesn't have to be this one. This happens to be the latest Sandcastle border, which I thought was adorable. I love going to the beach, so I knew this would, it's a great one for, you could even use it for pool parties, you know, if kids go to the park with sand. It's just really a nice summer border. And like I said, you don't have to go to the beach to use it. It just really screams out summer or springs playing in the sand. So I took this, I put repositional tape all across the back, and then this diagonal line on my trimmer, my paper is taped down to that, and I just put this down on that diagonal line, which gave me just kind of a guide to start. And then I pick up my paper and I flip it over. So it's much easier to trim when I flip it over, and then just trim along the edge. Kind of got into the paper. And then I trim along the edge on the other side. And then what I did was, my line is there, so I moved my strip of paper, this striped paper, down about 2 inches, so that so that I can get it on the same diagonal of that that's on the trimmer. So then I just took my piece that I had just cut. It now has that edge, which is going to line up perfectly on the edge of my strip of paper, and just put my sandcastle down along that edge, and then just cut the edge And then I'm going to move it down again 2 inches. And just kind of tape it in. Like I said, I put a little tape on the back of that strip of paper just so I can keep the guide and keep the line of my diagonal strips all going in the same way. So you can see they're kind of just coming out perfectly by using that trimmer and going down 2 inches. And then I would start going up 2 inches. 1, 2. And I just put this on the diagonal. Oops. And then I just take my other strip, and it takes about 1.5, whoops, this one. Well, it takes about 1.5 strips on your border for my sandcastle border. It definitely took about 1.5 strips. So just so you know. So 1, 2, move that up. And then I'm going to put this down. So you can kind of see my sandcastles are all about the same width apart, all on the same angle. Just like that. And then the last one, I need this up too. I think I need one more on the bottom. Get up to, and I think just one, whoops, one right here. And they're all on that same angle, which I thought was really important, because if I eyeballed it, I'd never get them about the same width apart. And then you can turn around and tape it to the back of your paper, because now you have all your angles in place. Just like so. And then to make the little beach balls at the bottom, I used the smallest circle from the cutting system on the inside with the red blade, and I cut out circles for the background. And then I took that beach umbrella and I cut out a bunch of beach umbrellas. And what I did was, again, repurposing this little striped beach umbrella, I cut off the bottom stick and then the top little nub. So it was just the half of the beach umbrella. I put repositional tape on the back and just fit it right into that circle, like so. And then I took the same color and did another one and cut off the top little nub. Again, repositional tape, and just put this on the other way. And this is how we did the Christmas ornaments that I showed before. Here's the Christmas ornament. So here's your little beach umbrella, and then, I'm sorry, your little beach ball. And then what I did was I took my glue pen and I added all the little cutouts from the beach umbrella and filled them in to make stripes. Let's do one in red. And let's do one in yellow. And this just makes a little striped beach umbrella, I'm sorry, beach ball for your page. And I just thought that was really super cute. By filling those in, it just added a little bit more color to your beach ball. Okay, so we have a blue stripe, a yellow stripe, and a red stripe. Gotta find my middle piece of yellow. Here we go. All these little pieces. And that made my little beach ball. And then I can just attach it to the bottom of my border. And then I did one with the opposite color. So I had one with yellow and then one with red. And again, I just put it right into the background of this circle. Red one here. I've cut out so many just to make sure I was ready so you didn't have to sit and just watch me punching away here. And positional tape, and then just put this on top. And then, so it's going to look like this. And then you're, like I said, you're just filling in your beach umbrellas or your beach ball. And then I added some little beach umbrellas to each layer for my layout, just so you can see what I'm doing and how I did mine. Even if you don't have these tools, it's just a really cute beach layout. Really great. You can see the beach balls that I had done, and I filled in the colors. You could even, if you don't want to use all those little pieces to fill in, which can be tedious and time consuming, you could actually use your markers to fill them in. If you'd have a, like on this one, I did it on a white circle. You can just take your markers and fill in all the little different cutouts, and it would work just the same. So there's a great idea for a summer layout or summer border, and using your border cartridges on a diagonal. It just makes a whole different look for your border cartridges.